So we're going to briefly talk about the order of operations here. I'm not going to do a ton of examples. Actually, I'm really only going to talk about one example here, mainly because it shows up on the internet all the time on social media. But before we get going on that, let's talk about what the order of operations are. What most people remember from school is they remember this acronym. So you have PEMDAS, PEMDAS. And usually, if given us a moment, ask a student, and they'll be able to regurgitate exactly what these letters stand for. We have the parentheses, we have exponents, multiplication, division, addition, and finally subtraction. That's a good start. If we can remember that can help us a lot if we remember some really important thing here. Usually most students don't struggle with parentheses. It's the grouping symbols. They know to go inside out with parentheses. Then they know to look for exponents. But it's when it comes to multiplication and division where things get kind of wonky for people. And these things go from left to right. And same thing with addition and subtraction. They go left to right because, at least in most Western languages, we read from left to right, and that's the way mathematics has been presented. And so multiplication and division are kind of on the same level. They can undo one another. They're inverses of one another. They're opposites. So if multiplication can undo division and division can undo multiplication, they're about the same power. Well, they are the same power. So one shouldn't take precedence over the other all the time. So what we do is it's first come, first serve. It's the same thing with addition and subtraction. And that's the part that a lot of students forget. And this is exactly why there are things that circulate on social media where people are arguing about how to solve a problem. And they all, well, not all, but a lot of them will correctly say, you need to know the order of operations. The thing is about half the people that are saying that don't remember the order of operations. So let's take a look at an example. And you may have seen this or something very similar. So if I am looking at 6 divided by 2 being multiplied by 1 plus 2 in parentheses, again, most people are going to get the first step right. I have 6 divided by 2. And 1 plus 2 is 3. So since the 1 plus 2 is in parentheses and P is the first thing on the order of operations, there's usually no issues there. However, this is a step where a lot of people are going to get confused, and they're going to think that since multiplication is the next one on the list that shows up, that you have to multiply 2 and 3 first, and you get 6, and 6 divided by 6 is 1. That is incorrect. So now the only operations I have here are multiplication and division. So we're going to go from left to right. So I'm going to divide by 2 first. 6 divided by 2 is 3, and I'm going to multiply by 3 and get 9. And that is my final answer. So yeah, this is a short video on order of operations. If anyone has questions and wants to see more examples or needs some help with it, by all means, reach out. But I wanted to make sure I touched on this just because it's important that in this case, division comes first because it comes first when going from left to right. And we don't just follow PEMDAS to the letter, so to speak. So at any rate, that is it for this video. And we're going to talk about algebra next.